Hey guys, it's James here. So I've been away for a week in Amsterdam. I went to the AI Film Festival. It was interesting. There was lots of films, lots of runway stuff. There was no what's that new one come out? There was no Luma, which I was really disappointed about. I really wanted to see some Luma stuff, so this all seemed like old stuff, and it was definitely like runway Gen 2, but the very early version. So they were mostly art films as well. Anyway, look, I'm getting off the track here. So I just wanted to show you some artwork that I've been doing whilst I've been away. Right, let's get this set up. Just pause this for a second. Right, okay, so this is just a couple days before I left. Like I said, I don't know how this video is going to go. Yeah, so this is all mostly image prompts, and I found that recently I've been going back to variations. I haven't been using variations in months and months. I used to use R. I used to do repeat, and that's how I used to get my variations, but I didn't find they were like really like, got a cat here. Thanks. I never used to find that sorry, doing like repeat is really good for getting lots of, if you're doing video, you know, it's really good for that. But I'm actually finding now that using variations but creative, which is a feature that I have probably never used up until just recently. I think I might have used it in the early days, but then because there were so many other features that Midjourney were bringing out, I was focusing on those. And sometimes it's good to go back to like basic stuff with Midjourney. And so, by the way, there's some stuff here. So some stuff I figured out whilst I was away is that this is not what I'm actually going for. Like this sort of stuff isn't what I'm going for, but I actually want it as part of a future image prompt with some other images. So I've been testing with sometimes 20 images, but I'm finding that it's very, even if you do creative variations, what you find is that when you have like 20 images, these aren't loading very well. When you have like 20 images in a prompt, it's so narrow, the amount of creativity that you can get, that sometimes it's just better just doing see, look, these are what's the mouse? These are my images that I'm using. Now the good thing about some of the more advanced features of Midjourney is that it's really hard to describe and get what they got. Trust me, I have tried doing this to see what text they've used to get the effect, and I think most of the new features aren't even using text. In fact, actually, some of my most recent prompts are not using text at all, so it's very difficult to work out. I mean, I've even tried doing it on my own stuff. Can I describe on like one of these images here and get the prompt? And no, you can't do it like that. So you have to think differently about if you're trying to emulate someone's work. You have to think, okay, well, if they're using the new features of Midjourney, like, well, which one are they using? And if they're using one particular feature, then what images are they using? And that, I think that's that's definitely a new way to prompt, and it's totally excelling what I do. So with text prompting, right, you can only write so much, right? You know, they say an image has 1,000 words. I don't even know what the phrase is. I can't even say it now. but using ooh yeah, I loved these. Oh, and by the way, the colors for these ones, that is the last. There's another little rubber pad that's come off my keyboard. I'm going to put it with the other ones. I'm going to super glue them back on one day. That's it, they're gone. Yeah, so the colors for these was actually inspired by Tatiana, I think her name is, on LinkedIn. So if you are in the audience, please make yourself known. Yeah, I liked these colours that she went for on one of her things. I don't know if she used this particular colour bar thing to get the colours, but it was she was definitely using very very bright and eye burning colours. So again, like stuff like this isn't really what I'm going for. Like what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to find like the Android aesthetic, and then here we go. Yeah, so I'm getting close. Then what I did was then I started mixing with other images just to see what I can get. And this is the sort of stuff I'm getting. Oh yeah, love this. Love this. Yeah, and also like I try my best not to go into. Sorry, my cat's jumping around. Not to try and go into the explore bit, because the explore. So excuse me, I haven't done a vape in about 5 days. Yeah, I find the explore stuff is just full of like generic stuff. So if you want your work to be generic, always go in the explore bit. If you want your work to be unique, dip in every now and again. Look for a prompt if you need to find it. But most of the time, just focus on your own shit. Forget what people are doing on LinkedIn. Just do your own thing. Express yourself how. Don't be another sequel. Just do your own thing. Express yourself however you want to express yourself, because that's the thing that's lacking: self-expression in these images that I see on LinkedIn. Yes, they're very good quality. Yeah, they're really cool. They're very aesthetically pleasing and all of that sort of stuff, right? But the real unique work will come from your heart. Will come from the things that you love looking at. Is not from jumping on the next crazy trends that people are doing on LinkedIn or Instagram or wherever. It's just doing your own thing. Also music really helps guide me too. Like, so for example, I think these ones were done when I was listening to Mozart. It's difficult to tell because I was probably switching between tracks. So for those who don't know, like, I like classical. You must have worked that one out by now. But I also like really really hard stuff too. Look at these. This is awesome. So some of the hard stuff I like listening to, I'll put on now. Take my hand, go with me, bitch. Oh shit! Okay, that was probably too much for some of you, but I find so this is when I was listening to the more aggressive stuff. So I wanted a more fashionista kind of aggressive kind of look, and I wanted the colors to change as well, and because of the processes I've been doing, I've been stuck on these colors that I've got, because what I'm doing is I'm taking the images that I already have. So here's some of the more aggressive stuff. So I'm taking images that I've already worked on, color coordinations that I've already found, colors in images that I've already found. But the thing is, unless you want to go into Photoshop and change it all in hue and saturation, then you're kind of stuck with the colors that you have. So doing these red ones were a little bit on the tough side, and I didn't get what I was after. But that's all whilst I'm listening to really aggressive music, and I think I probably continued listening to aggressive for a little while. And then I went back to some skull work. I was just curious, what else can you do with the skull and the oil thing? Turns out you can still do some stuff. So this is when I started listening to Mozart, and this was the first attempt of some Mozart images, and then eventually started getting some cool stuff. So yeah, that was probably one of the best ones. I sent that to Christina and she said she really liked it. Christina Ardeland, for anyone who doesn't know. Yeah, and I just continued experimenting, looking at stuff that I like, mixing things that I think work. So like in photography, there's the elements almost always work. Outside of the elements is reflections. So elements is like wind, water, ice, and fire, right? So water seems to work really, really well in both Midjourney, photography, and then runway as well. So I think it's because the elements are see what I'm doing here. I'm taking old images that I've already made and some copywritten stuff, by the way. And then that becomes my image prompt, and there's no text at all. Like, this is like a really new thing for me. So there you go. I just thought I'd show you what I was doing whilst I was away. There you go.